Hello, everybody. Oh, goodness. Hello, everybody. This is Matthew Brand. And I want to talk about something that's been bothering me. One of the things that I've noticed a lot is that you get people who are gun tubers, instructors, stuff like that. And what they do is they give people a information that applies to certain groups. And the problem is it doesn't always apply to everybody's situation, but they'll act like it does. And when somebody points out, hey, it doesn't, they'll be like, well, you need to work it out. What's more important? And look, I'm not knocking them. I'm not saying they're wrong or anything like that. But what I am doing is saying this is why you should get your information from a variety of sources, right? You may have your favorite person to listen to, but it's always good to listen to a variety. And I have sometimes, I'm not going to say knocked any instructors, but I will say that what certain people are good for, right? Some people always have their specialty, their situations and stuff like that. Some people are a lot more tactical, right? And they'll talk about tactics and oh, you should do this and do that, and yeah, that's good from a tactical perspective. But some people don't get to do the stuff that you do, and you can't just tell people, well, work it out. What's more important all the time? Other people, they're competition shooters, right? And they'll tell you what they do for competition, how to do good at that and that and that, and that's fine. But not everybody is going to shoot in competition. Some people are just doing self-defense shooting. Some people, what they can carry is different than what you can carry. Some people have capacity limits. Like you may be in an area where they tell you can only have 7 rounds. You may carry something different than if you live in a state where it doesn't matter how many rounds you carry. Uh, you may live in an area where there's more wild animals around, and you may carry something different than when the only thing around you are obnoxious, psychopathic people. And that is just something you have to take into perspective when you're listening to people, right? Yeah, they may have a good reason for what they choose and choose to do, but you also have to take into account so much. So, I give you an example. There's bodybuilders, right? Somebody who is bodybuilding to get buff and swole and go to a show, right, and show off their body may build themselves completely differently than somebody who's just trying to really look good to impress a, a man or a woman or whoever, or look good for the beach, right? Or who may do something completely different than someone who's trying to get in shape for athletics, right? Looking good applies to one thing, right? Because if you're looking good for a competition, right, where it's just purely aesthetic, is completely different than getting in shape to use your body to the best of its ability, right? Thai, I'm not going to say Thai, kickboxing, let's say kickboxers, they have a completely different body than somebody who's going to compete in Mr. Olympia. I'm just giving an example. This is the kind of stuff that this also applies to firearms, right? Or self-defense situations. All of it differently applies. And if you're one of the people like, okay, I carry pendants inside the waistband, stuff like that. Okay, that applies to you. Where some people may have to pocket carry, or some people may deep conceal, or some people may not carry a firearm at all. Okay, what do you have? Oh, you should always carry. Some people say mace, OC spray, whatever the case. That may be illegal where that person is, right? So what do you do then? Okay, you can have you know physical skills. That's good. Everybody should have physical skills, and that applies across the board. But when you listen to these people, I'm not saying take it with take everything they say with a grain of salt, but have different options of people to listen to. That way you get the best information. You can compare and contrast and see what's good for you, because somebody might say, oh, I would never deep conceal. It takes too long to get to. Okay, well, maybe deep concealment is the that only choice that person has. What would you advise for that? Right? What would you do for the person who's looking for that? Does your information go across the board? Not everybody does, but they have their specialties, and I don't knock them. Listen to them, but also listen to people who apply for your situation, because a lot of people, they talk about people who live in the suburbs. A lot of people live in the city. why it's called the city. I'm just saying. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate any like, subscribe, any kind of stuff like that. If you see me later, take you can ask any questions. I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. Other than that, peace.